So next let us discuss about finite fields. So first of all, you should know what is a finite field. We already know a field containing a finite number of elements within it is called a finite field. For example, this field of Z3, integers mod 3. So this is a finite field because the number of elements which are present here are 0 class, 1 class and 2 class. So whenever you have some integer, say you have 15, when you divide 15 with 3, what would you have? This would go on 4, so it would be 12. So sorry, it would go on 5, so it would be 15. So its remainder is 0, so it would come to this 0 class. So now you suppose take the element 22 and you divide by 3, so it would go on 7, it would be 21, and the remainder here would be 1. So it will go to this 1 class. And if you take some element, say 23, and you divide that by 3, so it will again go on 7, 21, and the remainder would be 2. So it will again go to this 2 class. Now suppose you take some element 25, right? When you divide by 3, so when you divide this by 3, it will go on 8, it will be 24, and the remainder would be 1. So you see, in every case you will get the remainder either as 0 or 1 or 2. So the only elements which are present within this field is they are only the 0 element, the 1 element, or the 2 elements. And how many elements are there? They are total 3 in number. So we'll say, because the number of elements present here are finite, that is they are 3 in number, therefore this is a finite field. Okay, so there's an important result stated that if f is a given finite field, then the characteristic of f, that is a prime, and the characteristic of f is a prime number, then f would contain a subfield which would be isomorphic to Zp. This we have just proved previously, right? And moreover, the number of elements which are present in this field f, that would be p to the power n, where n is some positive integer. And what was this p? P was the characteristic of the given field. So now this theorem is provides us with a very useful result whenever you wanted to calculate what is the number of elements which are present in f. So if you know what is the characteristic of the given field f, so you could clearly state that for a finite field having characteristic p, the number of elements which are present over here is p to the power n. So let us first see how we can prove this thing. So for that, for the first part, we have already proved that this field fp would be isomorphic to the field of integers mod p. For the second part, where we have to show the number of elements of f is p to the power n, where n is some positive prime integer, let us see how we can prove this. For that, what we are doing, we are assuming fp, this to be the prime field of f, and we wanted to show it has p to the power n elements. So because this is a prime field of f, using the first part, this would be isomorphic to integers mod p, this quantity. Now because this is isomorphic to integers mod p, and because this is a field, therefore this f which is defined upon fp, this will act as a vector space over the prime field fp. And if this is a vector space, so that means it has a basis e1, e2 up to en defined over fp. So that means all these elements e1, e2, en, they belong to f. Then you have some elements present here in fp taken as the scalar, so that every element of f is represented as the linear combination of all these particular elements. Okay, so if you take an element x here in this field, so that means you could write that element x as the linear combination of the elements e1, e2 up to en, and where all this a1, a2 up to an, they are the elements taken from fp. And what is this fp? This is the integers mod p. So the only elements of this field, they are the equivalence classes. So that is the 0 class, 1 class up to p minus 1 class. So the next thing is, in how many ways can you represent the element x? That would tell you how many elements are present in x, right? So for that we will see in how many ways can A1 be chosen, A2 be chosen, An be chosen. Now if you see, A1 is present in Fp and the number of elements that are present in Fp, they are p. So from here we can say that it depends upon the number of ways in which each A1, A2 up to An are selected, and because this A1 is present in Zp, which has the elements 0 class, 1 class, 2 class up to p minus 1 class, therefore it could be selected in p ways because it could be any one of these p elements. So A1 is selected in p ways, similarly A2 would be selected in p ways, similarly A3, which also belongs to the Zp, is also selected in p ways. So overall we have n elements, they are all chosen in p ways. Therefore we can select the total number of ways in which we can select all these elements A1, A2 up to An from Fp. They are p to the power n in number, and that is the way in which we can represent the given element as x. So if this element is chosen in p to the power n ways, so that means this is the only number which represents the total number of particles. So there are exactly p to the power n elements present in F. So this is the result. Next thing you should note that any finite field that is also called the Galois field. Now note here that we write this to be the Galois field, Galois, given by the scientist mathematician Galois, but we pronounce this to be Galois, right? So any finite field that is also known as Galois field, and it is denoted by Gf p to the power n. That means we can denote this, or we can call this to be the Galois field having order p to the power n. Why order p to the power n? Because this is a finite field, and we just saw that any finite field would have the order as p to the power n, right?